From the Hill today, House Republicans investigating possible abuse by the FBI and Department of Justice in the Russia matter, going behind closed doors, deposing a man by the name of George Toscas, a national security attorney with the Department of Justice, before talking later this month with Bruce Orr, a DOJ official linked to that anti-Trump dossier. Jim Jordan, member of the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees, is at the hearing. The Republican from Ohio from the Hill, and sir, good day to you.
Good to be with you.
Who is Toscas in all this, and what's his connection?
Well, basically what you said, Bill, attorney in the National Security Division, a name that kept coming up as we had talked with other people in the FBI as a key player in both the Clinton investigation and the Trump-Russia investigation. So someone that we felt we needed to depose, and that's going on right now. Asked him a few questions just a few minutes ago, but now it's the Democrat hour, and so the Democrats are asking questions. So we'll see what we learn there. The more important one, I think, frankly, is the one coming up in 2 weeks from today when we have Bruce Orr, a key player in this whole affair, and someone, frankly, who's been demoted at the Department of Justice as well.
Okay. Bruce Orr is behind closed doors in 12 days. Yep. August 28th is the date I have here. Yep. What have you learned from him?
Well, we know he's the key guy. Remember what Peter Strzok told us just a few weeks ago in the open hearing. It took me to the third round of questioning, but he finally admitted, yes, the FBI was, in fact, getting parts of the dossier from Bruce Orr, a top Justice Department official. So step back and think about this for a second. Bruce Orr's wife worked for the firm that the Clintons hired to put together the dossier. She's given it to Bruce Orr. He's given it to the FBI. It is never supposed to work that way in the United States of America. But, in fact, it did. And, of course, we know about this dossier. They dressed it all up, made it look like it was legitimate intelligence, took it to the FISA court to get a warrant to go spy on the other campaign, to spy on Donald Trump's campaign. So that is a big problem. Bruce Orr has a number of questions to answer, particularly how close his relationship was with Glenn Simpson, the head of Fusion, and Christopher Steele, the guy who was putting together the dossier, the MI6 agent hired by Fusion and working for the FBI.
Just to slow it down just a tad here. Do you think Bruce Orr is the nexus to all of this?
It seems like he's a key player. His name keeps coming up, and we got these emails just 2 weeks ago between him and Christopher Steele. And one of the interesting takeaways from those emails is just how close they were. It was Nellie, it was Bruce, it was Chris, it was Glenn. It was like they were all best friends. And the number of times that Bruce Orr interacted with Christopher Steele and, frankly, Glenn Simpson as well. So that's a key takeaway from when you look at these emails. And there'll be lots of questions that stem from that as we get a chance to interview him in a couple weeks.
I'll get you two more quick things here. Rudy Giuliani wants an answer from Bob Mueller by the 1st of September. I don't know if that happens or not. Perhaps it does. Do you think Mueller's waiting on this Manafort verdict?
I have no idea. What I do know is not one bit of evidence of any type of coordination, collusion, conspiracy, and no bit of evidence between the Russians and the Trump campaign. None. But what we do know, we've said it time and time again, is the Clinton campaign paid the Perkins Coie law firm, who paid Fusion, who then went out and hired Christopher Steele, whose wife, Bruce Orr, also worked for Fusion, whose husband worked for DOJ, who gave information to the FBI that they then used to go spy on the other campaign. We do know that. So if there's any type of conspiracy, coordination, or collusion going on, there certainly was there on that side, but we haven't seen any on the side of the Trump campaign.
John Brennan's in the news, right? This is what he wrote specifically, his words about losing his clearance and what about President Trump than Canon Trump knows. He says, Mr. Trump's claims of no collusion are, in a word, hogwash. That's Brennan talking that way. So what does he know that we don't?
I don't think he knows anything more than we don't. There's no clue. I just think he's mad and saying this stuff and doesn't like President Trump, doesn't like all the good things that are getting done in this country under his leadership. Here's what I also know. John Brennan leaked information to Harry Reid. Lost his clearance. James Clapper lied under oath in the Intel Committee in the Senate. James Comey has been fired for leaking information and all kinds of other things. Andy McCabe lied 3 times under oath, has been fired. Sally Yates, fired. Peter Strzok, demoted, then fired. Lisa Page, demoted, then left the FBI. Jim Baker, chief counsel at the FBI, demoted and then left. I think all those people, frankly, should lose their clearance, particularly when you have that kind of history where you've been fired, demoted, leaking information. Why should you have a clearance? So I agree with the president and what he did. I think there's a lot more people who, frankly, deserve the same treatment.
Jim Jordan, you make an interesting case. More to come.
Thanks,
28th, Bruce Orr. Thank you for being here today, sir.
You bet.